The day after the first flight, the humans aboard the awakened ship faced a new reality. The galaxy was watching. Commander Jalen Rhee stood on the observation deck, arms folded, watching the red dust swirl below Leora 7. "We've done well," he said quietly. "But others are noticing." The sensors picked up several alien craft on the edge of the system. "They are not friendly." Mira Tanaka floated next to him, adjusting the controls for the ship's energy output. "They're curious but cautious. For now, they are observing. Soon they will make a decision. And if they see power they can't control, they might try to stop us." Dr. Elias Vorn joined them, holding a tablet with data streaming from nearby systems. "We are already making waves. Some factions dismiss us as explorers. Others are beginning to suspect. They have seen energy signatures like this before, only from fleets long thought extinct." Jalen shook his head. "Then we have to show them something they don't expect. Humans do not back down from impossible odds. We adapt, we survive, and we protect those who cannot protect themselves." The team began planning their first mission beyond Leora 7. Intelligence reports had identified nearby colonies, at risk from pirate raids and unstable asteroid belts. Most alien factions had abandoned these outposts, leaving them defenseless. Mira smiled, determination in her eyes. "We can help. We can prove that humans and the heart together are a force that can defend and inspire. We take the ship, patrol the routes, and ensure these colonies survive. That's what humans do. We act when others hesitate." Jalen nodded. "Then it's settled. Prepare the ship for departure. Dr. Vorn, make sure you have all the maps and information we need. Mira, I trust your expertise with the heart. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do." As the ship lifted off, its massive engines glowed. The red dust of Leora 7 swirled beneath them, then faded as they entered space. The heart's hum filled the corridors, steady and confident, almost as if it anticipated the challenges ahead. Their first encounter came sooner than expected. A group of marauder ships had surrounded a small human colony. The settlers were defenseless, their shields outdated, their weapons basic. Jalen activated the ship's communication system. "This is Commander Jalen Rhee of the Human Exploration Team. Leave these people alone or you will face consequences." The response was laughter, crude and mocking. "You are alone, human. One ship against many. This is your end." Mira activated the heart systems. Shields glowed, engines powered up, and the ship seemed to expand, larger and more formidable than any of the marauder vessels expected. Drones deployed from the hull, forming a protective perimeter around the colony. Dr. Vorn whispered, "They have no idea what they are facing." The first attack came, small plasma bursts fired at the colony. The ship's adaptive shields shifted instantly, absorbing the energy and redistributing it. Energy pulses reflected back, disabling the marauder weapons without harming the ships themselves. The humans were watching, learning and adjusting just as they had taught the heart. Jalen gave the order. "Engage defensive maneuvers, but no unnecessary aggression. Protect, not destroy," the ship responded. It moved with precision, dodging attacks while projecting force fields to shield the colony. Drones intercepted projectiles, neutralizing them mid-flight. The marauders struggled to adjust, confused by the speed and adaptability of the ship. One of the enemy ships tried to ram the human vessel. The heart anticipated the move, moving effortlessly aside and using minimal energy, directed a pulse that disabled the aggressor's engines. Without causing harm, the marauder drifted helplessly in space. Mira smiled. "It's learning faster than we imagined. Every maneuver, every attack, it adapts instantly." Dr. Vorn nodded. "And it trusts us completely. That is remarkable. Other civilizations would have failed to achieve this. Only humans could earn this kind of partnership with such an ancient vessel." Within hours, the marauders retreated, realizing they could not overcome a single human-operated ship of this power. The colony was safe. The settlers watched from their stations, awe in their eyes, recording every detail. Jalen deactivated the defensive systems. "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will watch us now and they will talk." Indeed, word of the heart's reawakening began to spread. Alien observers monitored the energy spikes and maneuvers. Some were concerned, others alarmed. The species that had once dismissed Leora 7 as a dead world now had reason to reconsider. "This is unprecedented," said an alien commander, observing the battle through sensors. A single human ship, commanding a vessel of unknown origin, defended a colony against overwhelming odds. How can this be? Another voice responded, hesitant. Humans, and they are more than we thought. Their ingenuity, their courage. Perhaps we underestimated them. Back aboard the ship, the crew continued their work. They spent long hours integrating with the heart, learning its capabilities and teaching it about human strategy. The ship shared knowledge about long-forgotten technologies, propulsion systems, shield matrices, adaptive drones, and fleet formations. The humans absorbed it all, careful not to rush or overload the heart. Mira observed the integration process. It's incredible. The heart is showing us history, battle tactics, and technology, and yet it also adapts to our style. It learns our thinking. This is a partnership, not just a machine obeying orders. Dr. Vorn smiled. That is the essence of humanity. We do not just use tools. We create bonds even with machines. And that bond gives us an advantage others cannot understand. Jalen looked out at the stars, determination in his eyes. Soon the galaxy will see what humans can achieve. We do not conquer through fear. We protect, adapt, and innovate, and that is why the heart chose us. Days passed, and the humans continued patrolling nearby sectors, assisting colonies and mapping uncharted space. The heart's abilities grew with each mission. Its shields could adapt to multiple attack types simultaneously. Its engines could perform maneuvers that defied expectations. Its drones repaired damage and gathered intelligence in real time. One evening, as the ship rested near a quiet asteroid field, Mira approached Jalen. Commander, sensors indicate a major fleet moving toward this region. Alien ships, organized, well-armed. They may be planning something significant. Jalen nodded, face serious. Then we prepare. Humans never wait for threats to come to them. We act, gather the crew. Tomorrow we assess and plan. The heart will be ready and so will we. Dr. Vorn joined them holding a star chart. This fleet, it may be the first real test of what humans and the heart together can achieve. But I believe we are ready. History is in our hands. That night the crew rested, but sleep was uneasy. The galaxy was no longer silent. Humans had awakened a power long thought lost, and now, whispers of their actions spread across systems. Some saw hope, others fear. But all would soon learn that humanity, with ingenuity and courage, could turn even ancient scrap metal into a force that demanded respect. The heart pulsed steadily in the dark, aware of its new role. It had been dormant for centuries, but now it had companions, humans who were fearless, adaptable, and determined. And together they were ready to face whatever the galaxy might send. Outside, stars glittered in silent watch, and within the massive ship, humans prepared for the next step, confronting a real threat, proving their ingenuity, and showing the galaxy that what was once thought useless could reignite hope, courage, and power. And humanity, standing beside the heart, would ensure that no one ever dismissed them again. The galaxy had begun to stir. News of the human crew and the heart, a ship once dismissed as scrap, spread like a current of energy. Some were amazed, others wary, but none could ignore it. Commander Jalen Rees stood on the observation deck, watching distant stars. We've done well, he said quietly. We've shown what humans can do, but now the real test begins. Mira Tanaka floated beside him, eyes bright with determination. The fleet approaching is the largest we've seen. They're organized, heavily armed, and moving fast. If they attack, we will need every advantage the heart can give us. Dr. Elias Vorn held a star chart, the projections of alien movements blinking in real time. This fleet may think they can intimidate us, but humans, we don't fight with fear. We fight with ingenuity, courage, and unity. The heart has chosen well. Jalen nodded. Prepare the ship, deploy all drones, engage adaptive shields, and run a full systems diagnostic. We do not underestimate them. The ship's interior hummed with energy. The heart's pulse was steady, confident, almost alive. It had grown stronger in the past weeks, learning from the humans' methods, adapting its technology to their thinking. The AI, or heart, now anticipated commands before they were given, a silent partner in every calculation. The first scouts of the alien fleet appeared on sensors. Dozens of ships, sleek and deadly, approached at high speed. Their intent was clear: overwhelm, intimidate, destroy. Sensors show they are attempting to flank us, Mira said. But we can use their formation against them. The heart is ready. Jalen pressed his hand against the console. Then let's show them what humans and history can do together. The ship surged forward, its engines glowing with a steady white-blue light. Adaptive shields rippled across the hull, forming shapes that deflected energy blasts and minimized impact. Drones deployed in perfect synchrony, forming protective patterns and disabling enemy targeting systems. The first volley of weapons fired. Energy beams struck the shields but were absorbed, redistributed, and reflected in precise pulses. Not a single human ship or drone was damaged. Mira adjusted the controls, sending commands to the heart. Initiate evasive maneuvers and countermeasures. Target key enemy systems without destruction. The heart responded instantly. The massive ship moved with precision, dodging attacks, while projecting pulses that disabled enemy engines and communications. Alien pilots struggled to adapt, confused by the speed, intelligence, and strategy of a single human-operated vessel. Dr. Vorn watched, awe in his eyes. They do not understand. This is not brute force. This is creativity, strategy, and adaptation. Humans excel where others fail because we think differently. And the heart, it amplifies that. Jalen gave the order. Deploy flanking drones. Protect the fleet. No unnecessary aggression. Neutralize threats only when needed. The drones moved like extensions of the ship itself. They intercepted missiles mid-flight, projected barriers, and disabled weapons without harming crews. The enemy fleet, once confident, began to falter. Their formations broke, their attacks became disorganized, and confusion spread among their ranks. Mira smiled. The heart anticipates every move. It learns faster than they can adjust. Hours passed. The battle continued, but the humans maintained control. Each maneuver, each strategy, showcased their adaptability. The heart guided them, integrating centuries-old technology with human ingenuity. It was not just a machine following orders. It was a partner, learning, adapting, and acting with the crew. Finally, the alien fleet, recognizing their inability to overcome the humans and the heart, began to retreat. Some ships attempted diplomatic communication, fear and respect in their signals. Others simply fled, their engines pushing beyond known limits to escape. Jalen allowed himself a small smile. They see it now. Humans are not weak. Humans do not surrender. And humans, together with the heart, can achieve what no one thought possible. Mira floated to the console, her fingers dancing across the controls. The heart is fully integrated now. It trusts us completely. And it has shared everything it can: technology, history, strategies. We are ready for whatever comes next. Dr. Vorn nodded. And the galaxy will remember. Today, humans proved that courage, ingenuity, and determination can reignite not only a ship's heart, but hope for countless worlds. News of the battle spread rapidly. Colonies that had once lived in fear celebrated their defenders. Other species previously dismissive of humans began to study them more carefully. Intelligence reports acknowledged that humans were a force to respect, not because of brute strength, but because of creativity, adaptability, and heart. Jalen addressed the crew. This is only the beginning. We have proven ourselves, yes. But now the galaxy knows we exist. It is our duty to continue protecting those who cannot protect themselves, to explore, and to show that humans, even when underestimated, can achieve the impossible. Mira floated toward the heart's core, placing her hand gently on it. You've trusted us, and we've honored that trust. Together, we can face anything. Together, we are stronger than the galaxy imagined. The heart pulsed in response, brightening, almost glowing in satisfaction. It had been dormant for centuries, abandoned and forgotten. But now, under human guidance, it had been reborn, and it had found purpose again. In the following weeks, the humans used the heart to assist colonies, explore uncharted systems, and prevent conflicts before they began. Every action, every mission, showcased human ingenuity, courage, and unity. Colonies sent messages of gratitude. Systems once considered lost now thrived under the protection of humans and the heart. Rival alien civilizations, once dismissive, now approached cautiously, their respect growing with every successful mission. Dr. Vorn recorded the events meticulously. "History will remember this," he said, "not as a story of conquest, but as a story of courage, ingenuity, and heart. Humans have shown that even what others dismiss as useless, scrap, ruins, forgotten, technology, can become a beacon of hope when guided by spirit and intelligence." Jalen stood on the observation deck one evening looking at the stars. "We've done what many said was impossible. We've awakened a legend, protected the innocent, and proven that humans, even when underestimated, can change the galaxy. But this is only the beginning. There are still challenges ahead. More colonies need protection, more systems need exploration, and more hearts need hope." Mira joined him. "And we will face them, together. Humans and the heart. Nothing else matters." The heart pulsed steadily, a rhythm now shared between humans and machine. It was a heartbeat of courage, intelligence, and unity, a symbol of what could be achieved when humans did not give up, when they faced impossible odds, and when they used every tool, every skill, and every ounce of heart to succeed. Far across the galaxy, alien species observed the ship and its crew. They whispered to one another, a mix of fear, respect, and awe. The humans had proven something extraordinary, even in a universe that seemed vast and indifferent. Ingenuity, courage, and heart could change the course of history. Back on the ship, the crew prepared for the next mission. Plans were drawn, drones repaired, and systems tested. Every action strengthened the bond between humans and the heart. Every moment reinforced a simple truth. What had once been dismissed as scrap metal was now a symbol of hope, protection, and unparalleled ingenuity. Jalen looked at his team, pride swelling in his chest. "We have shown the galaxy that humans can breathe life into what others have abandoned. We have shown that courage, intelligence, and heart can achieve what seems impossible. The heart has been reignited, and so has humanity's presence among the stars." Mira smiled. "And we will keep it alive. Every star we visit, every colony we help, every challenge we face, humans will prove that nothing is truly lost when courage and heart are involved." Dr. Vorn added, "The galaxy may have underestimated humans for centuries, but no longer. The heart, and all we have achieved together, will be remembered forever." As the ship lifted off again, leaving Leora 7 behind, the stars stretched endlessly before them. The heart pulsed with life, and humans stood united within it, ready to explore, protect, and inspire. They had taken what others called scrap and turned it into legend. They had reignited a machine's heart and, in doing so, proven that humanity's spirit could ignite the galaxy itself. The galaxy would never forget. And humanity, guided by courage, intelligence, and unwavering heart, was only getting started. Ethan Ryder sat in the small cockpit of his salvage craft, eyes fixed on the vast emptiness of space. Stars stretched endlessly in every direction, cold and distant, yet somehow alive with their silent light. He had flown through empty sectors before, but this part of the galaxy felt different. Quiet. Too quiet. Even the usual hum of passing ships was absent. His sensors beeped faintly, a signal barely distinguishable from background noise. At first he ignored it. Space was full of debris and drifting wrecks, and most signals led to nothing but danger. But this one was unusual. The reading was massive, something the size of a city floating in the dark. And it wasn't just debris. It was a ship, but unlike any he had ever seen. Ethan leaned forward, squinting at the screen. The outline was immense. Triangular shapes, curves, and angles that no human ship would ever have. Yet it pulsed faintly, like it had a heartbeat. His stomach tightened. This wasn't just abandoned space junk. It was alive. "Why do I feel like it's calling me?" he muttered, rubbing his temples. He had been a mechanic for most of his life, fixing ships that no one else could. He had repaired freighters after asteroid collisions, space yachts after engine failures, and even alien crafts captured during minor conflicts. Humans were known for their ingenuity, their stubborn refusal to quit, and their ability to understand machines that no one else could. Somehow he knew this ship needed him. Without hesitation, Ethan fired up the salvage craft's thrusters. The engine hissed and roared to life, a small sound in the void, but to him it was like a heartbeat of his own. He plotted a course toward the derelict. As he drew closer, the sensors showed massive damage. Entire sections of the hull were torn open. Lights flickered sporadically as if someone or something was trying to signal him. When he arrived, the scale of the ship struck him. It stretched almost 20 kilometers from tip to tip. Shadows moved within its hull, but not like creatures, more like echoes of the past. The ship was colossal, abandoned, and yet aware. "All right, old friend," Ethan said quietly, gripping the controls. "Let's see what you're hiding." He suited up and prepared for boarding. The docking bay doors were damaged, jagged metal hanging from the edges, but the craft's AI helped him guide the salvage ship safely through. When he stepped into the derelict, the silence hit him first. It was complete yet somehow alive, like walking into the lungs of a sleeping giant. The corridors were enormous, built for beings larger than humans, or perhaps for machines that didn't require human scale. Sparks jumped from broken panels along the walls, and the floor occasionally vibrated beneath his boots. Ethan could feel the ship's presence almost like it was breathing, aware of him moving through its body. He stopped near the control room, where screens and consoles lay cracked and dead. He knelt down, opening a panel, and began working. Tools in hand, he bypassed broken circuits, rerouted power, and slowly brought life back to some of the ship's systems. A soft hum began, deep and resonant, echoing through the corridors. Ethan froze. "Did you just—" he whispered. A flicker of light traced along the walls, forming patterns that almost resembled words. He leaned closer. The ship's AI, dormant for decades, was awakening, and it was responding to him. "Who comes?" The hum turned into words, soft and mechanical, yet strangely sentient. Ethan's eyes widened. The ship was alive, not just a machine, alive. I'm Ethan, I'm a mechanic," he said, his voice echoing. "I'm here to help." There was a pause, then the light shifted, almost like a nod. "You understand me?" Ethan smiled. "I think I do. You've been quiet for a long time, huh? Abandoned, betrayed, power lost. Danger still comes." The AI's voice trembled slightly, like a memory trying to speak. Ethan's stomach clenched. This ship had a history, a past filled with war, loss, and perhaps betrayal. He could feel it in the vibrations of the corridors, in the cold metal that had survived centuries. He started working more quickly, adrenaline driving his hands. The power systems were badly damaged, but humans had a knack for improvisation. Using makeshift tools, spare circuits, and a little ingenuity, he managed to reroute the main conduits. Lights flickered on, slowly at first, then stronger. The hum deepened, now more constant, as the ship slowly became aware of its surroundings again. "Good job," Ethan muttered to himself. "Just a little more, old friend." As he reached the engine room, the scale of the damage hit him. Massive engines lay in ruin, broken and corroded. Parts of the antimatter reactor were unstable. One wrong move and the entire ship could implode. But he was not afraid. Humans had always faced impossible odds and survived. This was just another challenge. Hours passed, Ethan working tirelessly, repairing, rerouting, testing. The ship responded to him almost like a partner. Its AI began to communicate more clearly, sharing system status, warning him of structural weaknesses, even suggesting solutions he hadn't considered. "Why, help me?" the ship asked finally. Ethan paused. "Because I can, and because you're asking me to. I don't know why, but you're alive and I can't just leave you here to die." A low vibration rolled through the corridors. "Then awaken." Together, Ethan felt a thrill. The ship was asking him to do more than repair it. It wanted to awaken fully, and it wanted him to lead the process. This was no ordinary salvage mission. This was something greater. Something that could change the balance of power across the galaxy. Suddenly, sensors blared. A small alien scout ship appeared on the edge of the sector. Its design was sleek, predatory, and it scanned the derelict with suspicion. Ethan's heart raced. Alien fleets rarely ignored massive derelict ships, especially ones that were potentially dangerous. "They see us," Ethan muttered. "I need to move fast." He focused on the final circuits, the control arrays that would allow him to access the ship's bridge. Lights flared as the AI responded, adapting to his methods. "Quick, hide!" Awaken slowly. Ethan grinned. Humans had a way of thinking that no machine or alien could predict. He began creating decoys, lighting panels in ways that suggested life where there was none, masking his presence from sensors. The alien scout moved closer, then hesitated, confused by the strange energy readings. The ship groaned as power surged through it. Corridors glowed, engines hummed, and the bridge lights flickered to life. Ethan climbed the wide steps, taking in the enormous interior. This was a warship, far larger than anything humanity had ever built, capable of destroying entire fleets. Yet it waited quietly for a mind like his to guide it. He reached the main console, placing his hands on the alien interface. It pulsed beneath his touch, responsive, almost grateful. The AI's voice whispered through the bridge. Together, we are unstoppable. Ethan smiled, feeling a thrill he had never experienced before. Then let's wake you fully. Let's show the galaxy what humans can do. Outside, the alien scout slowly retreated, unsure of the silent power within the derelict. Ethan knew this was only the beginning. The ship was alive, calling him, and together they would awaken a force that no one had seen in centuries, a sleeping giant of the stars now stirring under the guidance of a human mind. And somewhere deep inside, the ship whispered one last thought, almost like a promise. The galaxy will remember. Ethan leaned back in the console chair, exhausted but exhilarated. For the first time, he realized that humans were not just survivors or mechanics. They were creators, innovators, and in this case, awakeners of titanic power. The ship waited for him, ready to change everything, and he was ready to guide it. The stars outside shone silently, unaware that a human had just found the key to an ancient superweapon. And that superweapon had chosen him. Ethan Ryder moved through the vast corridors of the derelict starship, his boots echoing on the metallic floors. Every step felt heavy yet thrilling. The ship seemed to breathe around him, humming softly as if it knew he was there to help. Panels flickered to life under his touch, and the air itself seemed charged with energy, long dormant, now stirring. He reached the engine room, a cavernous space filled with massive machinery, much larger than anything he had worked on before. Broken conduits hung like vines, sparking occasionally. Rust and corrosion covered many sections. But beneath the damage, Ethan could sense potential. The ship was not dead. It was waiting for someone like him to awaken it. "All right, old friend," Ethan muttered. "Let's see what we can do together." He opened a control panel, scanning the damaged systems. The ship's AI, still quiet but growing more responsive, began communicating again. Core, unstable. Engines, dead. Weapon arrays, dormant. Danger. Approaches. Ethan nodded, understanding immediately. He had faced unstable reactors before, though none this massive. His human mind worked quickly, devising plans to bypass the broken systems, reroute power, and stabilize the ship. The AI seemed to watch him, almost curious, as if observing how a human thought. Using makeshift circuits and spare parts from his salvage craft, Ethan began restoring partial power to the engines. Sparks flew, alarms sounded, and the hum of dormant machinery grew louder. The ship shivered under his hands as though testing his intentions. Patience. Human patience. Or failure, the AI whispered. "I can handle a little danger," Ethan replied, smiling. "I've never met a machine I couldn't fix." Hours passed as he worked tirelessly, carefully repairing each section. He rerouted energy lines, bypassed shattered conduits, and slowly brought life back to the ship's internal systems. Lights flickered across the corridors, powering up long-forgotten sensors and communications arrays. The ship's hum became steady, resonant, almost melodic, vibrating through the floor and walls. Finally, the engines responded, deep growls echoing as systems came online. Ethan's heart raced. This was no ordinary starship. The engines pulsed with energy, immense power waiting to be unleashed. Energy, flowing, engines, responding. Connection. Established, the AI announced. Ethan's grin widened. Good. Now we can really start talking. He moved to the main console and began examining the control interfaces. They were alien, unlike anything humans had designed. Buttons and levers had no labels. Screens displayed strange symbols, yet his mind adapted. He discovered a pattern, a way to interface with the ship using logic and intuition. The AI seemed intrigued. Human, intuition. Effective. Adaptation, unusual. Humans are good at improvising, Ethan said. We can figure things out that even machines can't predict. As the ship's system slowly revived, an unexpected signal appeared on the sensors. A small alien scout had returned, hovering at the edge of the sector. Its metallic hull reflected the starlight, sleek and deadly. Ethan's eyes narrowed. "They're watching," he muttered. "They don't know what they're up against." The scout sent a scanning pulse, but Ethan had already rerouted the ship's energy to mask their signature. The AI seemed to enjoy the challenge. Deception. Effective. Intruder. Confused. He climbed to the observation deck, looking out at the approaching threat. "You see that? They don't know we're alive yet. They think we're just another derelict floating in space. That's going to change." As he spoke, the AI pulsed gently beneath his touch, acknowledging his plan. Together, they began devising strategies, testing the ship's systems against potential threats. Weapons arrays, though dormant, hummed faintly, as if waiting for his command. Shields flickered weakly, but with adjustments, they began to stabilize. Weapons, limited, shields, fragile, human, potential, critical, the AI said. Ethan worked quickly, improvising solutions. He activated auxiliary power sources, rerouted energy to weapon systems, and brought the shields to full strength. The scout ship's sensors were now confused, unable to detect true activity within the massive derelict. Suddenly, a loud rumble shook the corridor. Debris fell from the ceiling. Ethan stumbled but caught himself, eyes wide. The ship groaned, alive and reacting to his presence. "Core, stress, careful," the AI warned. Ethan nodded. "I'm being careful, but we're almost there." He moved to the ship's main reactor chamber where the heart of the engines pulsed dimly. Using a combination of human engineering and alien technology, he began stabilizing the reactor. Energy surged through the ship, systems lighting up like veins carrying power. Stability. Achieved. Partial. Full power. Unknown, the AI said. Ethan felt a thrill. "Partial is good. We'll get full soon enough. Don't worry, I can handle it." As he worked, the scout ship moved closer, its weapons ready. Ethan knew it was only a matter of time before the aliens would realize the derelict was not empty. He needed the ship to defend itself, and fast. "All right, old friend," he said, speaking to the AI. "Time to show them we're not just alive. Time to show them what humans can do." The ship responded immediately. Lights blazed across the corridors. Sensors activated and weapon systems hummed faintly. The AI communicated directly with Ethan now, faster, more precise. "Human pilot ready. Strategy. Engage." Ethan began running simulations on the main console, testing the ship's responses. Shields absorbed simulated attacks. Weapons targeted phantom enemy positions. Engines maneuvered through impossible angles. The AI adapted to his commands, learning from his human intuition, creating strategies no machine could predict alone. Hours passed, and the alien scout hesitated at the edge of the sector. Its readings showed life, energy, and movement within the derelict. It sent a warning signal to the nearest fleet, but Ethan was already ready. "Let them come," he whispered. "They'll learn why humans survive where others fail." Suddenly, the AI pulsed violently, almost like laughter. "Human creativity. Effective. Awakening. Imminent." Ethan smiled, adjusting the energy flow to the engines. The ship responded to his touch, powerful and alive. Weapon systems powered up fully, ready to defend, to attack if needed. He felt the thrill of control, but also a bond with the ship. This was no longer just a derelict. It was a partner, a living being that trusted him to guide it. He was a human, yes, but together, they were something greater, a force that no one in the galaxy could predict. The scout ship backed away, unsure of what it had detected. Ethan's eyes gleamed with determination. "You see that? They're already afraid, and this is only the beginning." He took a moment to survey the massive corridors, the glowing consoles, the awakening engines. The ship was learning, responding, alive in ways that humans alone could not achieve. And he was at the center of it all, the mechanic who had breathed life back into a sleeping giant. Human potential. Extraordinary. Together, unstoppable, the AI whispered. Ethan nodded. "Then let's keep going. Full power. Full awakening. We've got a galaxy to surprise." Outside, the stars shone quietly, unaware that a titanic ship had awakened. A ship that had been abandoned, betrayed, and left to die. Now it stirred, guided by a human mind. And somewhere deep inside, the AI promised silently, "The galaxy will never forget us." The derelict was no longer abandoned. It had a purpose again. And that purpose was tied to a human, the mechanic who could fix anything, who could think beyond limits, who could awaken a sleeping giant and turn it into a force that even the most powerful fleets would fear. Ethan looked out the observation window, eyes blazing with determination. The alien scout would report back, and soon the galaxy would know a human had awakened a superweapon. But Ethan didn't care about fear or warnings. Humans were not meant to wait for permission. They were meant to act, to innovate, to survive, and sometimes to change the fate of the stars. And as the ship's engines hummed louder, vibrating through every corridor, Ethan realized something extraordinary. Humans could not only repair what was broken, they could awaken the impossible. The sleeping giant was alive, and with him at the helm, it was unstoppable. Ethan Ryder stood on the observation deck of the massive starship, watching the alien scout retreat into the distance. The stars beyond the reinforced viewport seemed calm, almost serene, but Ethan knew better. The galaxy rarely remained quiet for long, and now, with a living superweapon awakening under his guidance, he had made a ripple that would not go unnoticed. He turned to the main console, fingers dancing over the alien controls. The ship hummed beneath him, engines pulsing, shields bristling with power. The AI's voice filled the bridge, calm yet excited. Human, pilot, capable, threat approaching, evaluation necessary. Ethan nodded. Then let's see who's brave enough to challenge us first. Sensors blipped with activity. Far across the sector, multiple alien ships moved swiftly, converging toward the derelict. Their shapes were sleek, dangerous, and clearly designed for war. They had detected the derelict's unusual energy signature, and now approached with caution, but also confidence. None expected a human to be behind the awakening of such a vessel. Looks like they don't know what we are yet, Ethan said quietly. And that's going to work in our favor. The AI responded instantly. Prediction. Favorable. Human. Ingenuity. Key advantage. Ethan's mind raced. The starship's weapons arrays were still adjusting to his control, the engines still learning his commands, and the shields only partially stabilized. He could not match these alien ships in a straight fight, at least not yet. But humans excelled at unpredictability. That was his advantage. He activated the ship's decoy systems, creating holographic echoes of energy bursts, lighting corridors that didn't exist, projecting false movement across the hull. Alien sensors grew confused, their targeting systems registering multiple false positions. Ethan's grin widened. See that? Humans don't fight like machines. We improvise. We create. The AI pulsed in agreement. Adaptation. Remarkable. Strategy. Unpredictable. Advantage. Human. As the alien fleet drew closer, Ethan focused on the ship's weapon systems. He had managed to bring several turrets online, though they were untested. Each was enormous, capable of firing energy projectiles large enough to destroy smaller ships with a single shot. But controlling them required timing, precision, and creativity, exactly the kind of challenge humans excelled at. Let's try something new, he muttered. He aligned the turrets to mimic coordinated volleys, firing sequences that anticipated alien movements. The first shots tore through space, not with brute force, but with cleverness. The alien fleet faltered, unsure how to respond. Efficiency, unexpected, human. Creativity. Effective, the AI observed. Ethan felt a surge of pride. He wasn't just repairing the ship, he was teaching it to fight alongside him. And in return it responded, anticipating his commands, acting as an extension of his mind. Together they were more than a machine or a human alone. They were a team. The aliens, realizing the derelict was not defenseless, adjusted their strategy. Faster ships attempted to flank it, while others moved in to disable the engines. Ethan smiled at the challenge. All right, let's dance, he said. He directed the starship's engines to move in unpredictable patterns, spinning slowly, shifting angles, then surging forward in bursts. The alien sensors tracked them, but could not anticipate the human mind controlling them. Weapons fired with precision, hitting targets that the enemy thought were safe. Smaller alien ships exploded, their crews thrown into space by the overwhelming energy of the starship's firepower. Tactics, unconventional. Human value, immense, the AI said. Ethan leaned back in his chair, feeling the thrill of the first victory. But he knew this was only a test. The alien fleets were skilled, and they would learn quickly. He needed more than clever maneuvers. He needed to push the ship to its full potential. He focused on the engines, diverting energy to improve maneuverability. The ship responded instantly, turning faster than it should have been able to, moving as if it were an organism rather than a machine. He began using the ship's massive size to his advantage, drawing smaller ships into traps using gravity wells and energy pulses to redirect enemy fire. Human tactics, brilliant. Ship responds, harmony. Hours passed, each maneuver more daring than the last. Ethan realized that the ship was learning, not just from him but from the battle itself. It adapted to enemy tactics, optimized firing sequences, and reinforced shields in real time. The AI communicated rapidly, coordinating with his intuition in ways no human or alien alone could match. Yet despite their success, Ethan faced a moment of doubt. Could he control this power? A single misstep could destroy entire fleets or worse, harm innocent colonies nearby. He paused, taking a deep breath. No, he said firmly. We're going to be careful. We fight smart, not reckless. That's what humans do. The alien fleet had not given up. Larger ships emerged from behind asteroid belts, weapons charging. Ethan knew he had to escalate, but carefully. He activated a previously dormant system. The ship's energy conduits capable of releasing massive pulses to disable multiple ships at once. The AI hesitated, sensing the danger, but trusted his command. Human judgment. Uncertain. Risk. High. I trust myself, Ethan said. And I trust you. Let's show them what humans can do together. The energy pulse surged, lighting the void like a second sun. Alien ships were thrown off course, systems overloaded, some drifting helplessly. Ethan's eyes sparkled with excitement. He had anticipated their formation, predicted their movements, and used both human intuition and the ship's power to achieve what no alien commander expected. Effect. Devastating. Human strategy. Unmatched. The AI acknowledged. The alien fleet now retreated, realizing that this derelict was not just alive. It was controlled by a mind that could think beyond their predictions. Ethan leaned back, breathing heavily but smiling. The first trial was complete. He had proven that humans could adapt, innovate, and survive against overwhelming odds. But victory came with understanding. This battle was not just about survival. It was about learning, growing, and mastering the ship. Ethan knew that alien forces would return, stronger, smarter, and more prepared, and he would need to be ready. He walked through the corridors, checking systems, feeling the ship respond to his touch. Every console, every engine, every weapon array was now partially aware, connected to him in ways that no human had ever experienced. He realized that humans did not need advanced technology alone. They needed creativity, courage, and the willingness to act. That was their true power. The AI pulsed again, softer this time, almost contemplative. Human potential. Extraordinary. Together, invincible. Ethan nodded. Not invincible, smart, adaptable, creative. That's what humans are. As he rested, he thought about the scale of the ship. A derelict abandoned for centuries, now alive, powerful, and aware. And he, a simple mechanic, had become its guide. Together, they could challenge fleets, protect colonies, and maybe even change the balance of power in the galaxy. Outside, the stars remained calm, indifferent to the drama unfolding. Yet somewhere among them, alien commanders scrambled to understand the sudden disappearance of their scouts, the unexpected failure of their first wave. A single human had turned the tide, and they had no idea how. Ethan returned to the bridge, checking systems again. Engines, weapons, shields, all operational, all responding to him in perfect synchrony. The ship's AI pulsed with awareness, waiting for the next command. Tomorrow, Ethan said, gazing at the stars. Tomorrow we push further. We train, we prepare. They'll come back and we'll be ready. They don't know what humans can do when we work with something bigger than ourselves. The ship hummed softly, almost like a sigh of contentment. Together, human and starship had passed the first trial. The galaxy had felt their power, even if it did not yet know who was behind it. And somewhere deep inside, Ethan felt the bond forming. Not just with a machine, but with a partner, a friend, a force that could turn the impossible into reality. He leaned back in the command chair, exhausted but exhilarated. For the first time, he understood something fundamental. Humans were unpredictable, unyielding, and creative in ways no alien or machine could match. And in this derelict superweapon, that creativity became unstoppable. The stars outside twinkled silently, but within the hull lights blazed, engines pulsed, and a giant had truly awakened. And Ethan Ryder, human mechanic, was at its center,